This is the political rookie who beat Poilievre in Carleton. Bruce Fanjoy, a first-time Liberal candidate defeating the 7-time MP.
I knew that someone had to stand up to Pierre, and I couldn't find anyone else, so I did it myself.
We lost an MP and leader of the opposition that was well-rooted in the community. He was not an elite, if you will.
Parliamentary rules state that the leader of the opposition must hold a seat in the House of Commons.
We have to learn the lessons of tonight so that we can have an even better result the next time the Canadians decide the future for the country.
Some high-profile Conservatives are standing by Poilievre. Former Tory leader Andrew Scheer posted on social media, his continued leadership will ensure we finish the job next time. Former interim leader Rona Ambrose agrees and hailed his breakthroughs.
So make no mistake, this is definitely a setback, but I don't think it's something that is going to torpedo his leadership.
For Poilievre to return to the House of Commons, the Conservatives could ask an MP to step aside, triggering a by-election. But Mark Carney would ultimately decide when that vote takes place, which could be up to 8 months down the road.
Doug Ford is going to be pissed because guess who's back? Damien Kurek just gave up his riding and his seat in order for Pierre Poilievre to be back in the House of Commons. This guy is a Canadian hero, and the reason I say that is he was 6 months away from getting his pension. He put Canada first, unlike Jagmeet Singh. This guy's only 35 years old, and I think he has a promising future, especially now that he put his country ahead of his own needs. I'm giving this guy a follow because I want to know where he ends up. I'm sure he's heading on up in this world. And yeah, look how much he won his riding by. It's basically a guaranteed win for Pierre Poilievre. And the craziest part of the entire story is Mark Carney is rumored to immediately allow this by-election to occur. And I don't think he's doing it because he wants to be a nice guy. I think it's because he doesn't want to seem weak in front of Canadians and wants to show he could take on Pierre.
As many of you know, Pierre Poilievre has held his riding of Carleton for nearly 20 years. He was just recently beaten, and this is what his riding looks like. This is Carleton, and as you can see, it wraps around this area around there. I'll move my head out of the way. I want you to see the full area of Carleton. And this is from the Elections Canada website. His area, the region that I just showed you, it didn't look like that. In fact, in all of the other elections, it looked like this. It never had this area. Remember that. This area right here, that's brand new. I'm going to shrink myself down to size so you can see that new area that was integrated with his. This is what it looked like in 2021 when they had the 44th election. And I'm going to explain all this red in just a second, and it's all going to make sense. So Pierre's area, labeled as number 88 over here, that's what he had the whole time. Before, it was integrated with this. And everything I'm taking is publicly available, so check it yourself. But this is how much he won last time, a 15% margin. Just to remind you, that's the area that he used to represent before that came into the picture in 2023. Yes, the adjustment was done recently. Let me put it to you this way. Pierre Poilievre's riding, which had always been conservative and he held for 20 years, was merged with a heavy liberal region. An area altogether that had grown by nearly 50% due to immigration. That's going to be important. Watch this. Now this is where we get to the good part. Did you know that nearly 93% of all immigrants move into one of Canada's 44 census metropolitan areas? And I know this is talking about non-permanent residents as well, which is also calculated is very similar percentage, which is almost the 93%. But when you have that, that's why metropolitan areas like Ottawa, the whole Greater Toronto area, includes Burlington, Oakville, Milton's getting there too. Look at Hamilton. And I know this says Hamilton here, but this is the outskirts of Hamilton. That's the city core. And let's not forget Montreal, all red. And the same holds true for all of Metro Vancouver. Take it from an immigrant. When immigrants move into the country, they generally vote Liberal. Because that's the same party that offered social assistance. It's the same party that pays them each month more than Canadians get in old age security. They are now giving them free healthcare. They are able to stay at 4-star hotels. They get access to the same child benefit as you have, as Canadians who've paid taxes your whole life. Roughly $7,000 per child per year. Child of 3 gives you over $21,000 depending on their age. It might even be more. We are talking about more money than they would ever earn or save in their lifetime in 1 or 2 years. More permanent immigrants heading for the Maritimes. And let's not forget that Canada grew by a record 1 million people solely from immigration. And we did it in under just 9 months. That's how we were able to hit a population of 41 million. And this article was from back in March 2024. Using 2023 data. A similar thing happened in 2022, 2021, to the point where the immigration minister said Canada should have acted sooner on migration. And guess what? As an immigrant myself, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. The Liberal Party is importing voters. Here's an example of something that should be questioned. How is it that the Maritime provinces, the ones where all the immigrants are headed to and experiencing record growth, is it that they have 2.4 million people and have 32 federal seats? Alberta has almost double. Not quite, but almost. They only have 5 more seats. Why don't they have 60? Each voter in Atlantic Canada has 55% more representation than an Albertan. Take a guess which one's Liberal and which one's Conservative. My friends, there's always more to the story. This is what Pierre had. This is what he was given in this election. Why else do you think that Mark Carney launched his bid in Edmonton, this was back in January, to become the next prime minister and take over for Trudeau? He did it there because that's where he was raised. That's where he grew up. But remember, his riding was not there because he was at risk and he knew that. And where was Mark Carney's riding? It was right beside Pierre Poilievre's in Nepean. The red zone. My friends, these things do not happen by accident. And let me remind you, how did Carney get his seat? They kicked out a sitting member of parliament, Chandra Arya. They revoked his ability to re-enter nomination so Carney could have a safe seat. There's always more to the story, and I can promise you, you won't see this on TV, you won't see this on the news. Share this. Share this with everyone you know, because that, my friends, is the truth.